I have mentioned it already a couple of times here at the beginning of our Colts franchise rebuild, but the number one storyline for season one that will be ongoing throughout the season is quarterback Anthony Richardson Sr. Of course, quarterback is the most important position on a football team, and this really is a make or break season for the 23-year-old. He needs to show us that he's worth investing in the future if we are not to start to look for his replacement in the draft. We do have extra scouting towards quarterbacks for this upcoming draft just in case. So far, very small sample size for the first two games of the season. I think he's been showing us what he's needed to earn more of a leash, though. Again, small sample size, and he still has much more to go to continue doing that. But he has a career high in rating. He has a 2-to-1 touchdown interception ratio. I'd like that to get a little bit higher, of course, but also career highs in completion percentage over 60%, yards per attempt at 8, where he's been at 7 the first couple of seasons, and more than 100 yards more passing per game than he's had previously in his career. All that while also averaging more yards on the ground. So is he going to be able to keep this level of production up? We shall see. His make or break season continues against the Tennessee Titans, our first division game of the franchise rebuild here. So for our loadout here, I don't really feel like we need to focus on our coverage, mostly because I don't think the Titans have necessarily the best receiving group here, and so we're focused all on corners for our staff loadout. I just feel like that's a mistake. I do feel like we need to get a boost to our pass rush, though. I don't know why this went off of our player development. That feels like a big time mistake. So let's get that one back on. And then for our final one, let's just try and increase Richardson's accuracy on these short throws. I think that's going to be our staff loadout for this week. And so for some reason, the week that you put this in, it doesn't actually go into effect. I don't know why we went all defensive here. Let's go with maybe a run and shoot play sheet. Oh, I gotta. So I like maybe keeping the disguised ones, but let's go with the run and shoot gun play sheet this week. So as I was saying, though, this one right here, it doesn't go into effect the week that you put it in. So we're going to have 1 week because they took it out automatically. I don't know what's up with that. I have to now go a week without having 6 focus players. So I definitely want Tyler Warren and Anthony Richardson. Do we want him to be our third player? Trying to think. We might instead go with JT here to get our first 2 rookies from this previous draft. And then next week, we should be back to getting the full 6 back. Now, we have a tier 1 healing accelerator here. We might be able to increase that just to get Latu back. I do like this silver reduced wear and tear impact, though. I think if we had more than 1 long-term injury, I'd switch to this, but with just 1, I'd rather keep my players healthier. And in fact, we might even be able to upgrade that. We'll simulate training for now. We do have 31 staff points available, so we'll see if we can reduce it even further here. We have a couple of backups here across the board, getting a little bit of injury questions. So we still just have only Latu out for this upcoming game. Now let's go ahead and go to Isaac Flynn here. And we can upgrade this to gold tier. Can't quite get it up to the maximum tier, which I would like to do. Reducing wear and tear by 25% sounds pretty good to me. So that'll be probably my next upgrade as well once we get a few more points. Let's spend some upgrades, whatever we have prior to this game. We got Michael Pittman Jr. That's a nice one. Basically, from what I've seen, it seems like Playmaker is just absolutely busted this year. So you should mostly be going for this. I mean, this looks pretty dang good to me. So I'll take it for sure. And then our starting right guard, Matt Goncalves. Here we'll take Agile. I like my offensive lineman to be able to do a little bit of everything, and we get +3 to pass block finesse, which is pretty nice. Although we needed run block finesse even more. So let's get underway. Our first taste of a rivalry here in the rebuild will be on the road in Tennessee, and we'll get to see our first of many matchups against #1 overall pick Cam Ward. Let's see if we can get back into the win column. We of course picked up a win in week 2 after falling just short of a victory on opening day. Up first in this game will be Anthony Richardson and the offense. 2nd and 10. The give is to Jonathan Taylor, and there's a big hole right up the middle and an explosive gain inside the 40, but Jonathan Taylor shaken up on the big play. Will be without him for the time being. 2nd down now. It's read option. Keeping it is Anthony Richardson. Now inside the 25. Run game getting us down the field here as we see Jonathan Taylor. Looks like he could return at some point in this ball game, although we'll certainly be cautious with it. Wide open on the in cut. Josh Downs scores the touchdown. A perfect drive by the Colts to get things going. They've been looking pretty sharp on these opening drives so far. The protection was great, and the throw was right on the money from Anthony Richardson. 7-0 for our Indianapolis Colts here early. Coming onto the field for the first time now is the aforementioned #1 overall pick. Unfortunately, he had -1 passing touchdowns last year. That seems pretty harsh, but finding Traylon Burks, who in real life is not even on the team, but here catching a nice ball for a first down. As he was hit, Cameron Ward throws a dot on the corner route to Tyler Lockett. I'm going to be honest, I totally forgot he was a Tennessee Titan. 3rd and 7. Pocket holds up for Cam Ward, and he finds Ridley now. He's spreading the wealth around to all his receivers here, and he's looking really nice. 3rd and 5 from the 17-yard line. Ward back to pass once more. Moving to his right, nobody there, and he gets hit hard as he throws it out of bounds. Tennessee will have to settle for a chip shot field goal on their first drive. 2nd drive, Indy trying to avoid a 3-and-out here. Going on the out route to the tight end too, but Mo Alley Cox cannot hold on. So the Colts unfortunately do go 3-and-out after a pretty solid return as well. They started at the 40-yard line. This punt, you know, when we're showing a punt, it must mean something good, and it's down at the 2-yard line. Ward to the flat for Tony Pollard, and that gets them out of the shadow of their own end zone. Now 3rd and 1. Colts shift inside at the last second, and that was just enough to force the quarterback sneak to be short, and Cam Ward and the offense punt it back to Indy. 2nd and 10. On the drag route is Michael Pittman. Catch and run yardage for the first down in Tennessee territory. Khalil Herbert, he's in for Jonathan Taylor for the time being, and a nice juke gets him to the 20-yard line. Run game working early here for Indy. Back to Herbert on a screen. Great blocks in front of him. Weaving through traffic. Herbert's in for the score. What a well-executed screen pass there. Richardson did a good job waiting to the last second. The blocks were excellent. The vision by Herbert. Everything came together. And that is just what the doctor ordered on that screen pass there. 14-3 now for the Colts. Jet touch to Traylon Burks to start this next drive, and he goes for 22 yards. That is not a play that works often in Madden, but it works great for Tennessee there. And a great block on the left tackle there will spring Tony Pollard. Got pancaked on that one. So Tennessee in scoring territory once more. 2nd and 8. Evading is Cam Ward and hitting his tight end on the move. Chikakonkwo. 2nd and 2. And getting crunched in the backfield is Tony Pollard. Is JT Tuimoloau having a really solid start to his rookie campaign. 3rd and 6. Ward misses his man on the out route. He had space, but Ward couldn't get the accurate throw, and Tennessee is down by 8. Jonathan Taylor back into the game here. Picks up the conversion on that 3rd down. That was his first play back. Tyler Warren, leaping grab and breaking a tackle. The 45-yard line. Speaking of rookies having good campaigns so far. 3rd and 11. Coordinator calls for some slants, but the pressure gets to Richardson before he's able to release. And the Colts are forced to punt. Back on offense, these outside runs have worked well for Tony Pollard and the Titans. 3rd and 10 now. Tough spot for the Tennessee offense, but a strike thrown by Cam Ward on the inbreaker. Keeps the drive alive. Read option now. Ward, plenty of space, and the quarterback run has been an issue for this Colts defense early on this season. And that is another great throw. Cam Ward is looking extremely sharp here for Tennessee. And the that run will bring up 3rd and 7. JT Tuimoloau injured on the play. Now the Colts are down 2 of their recent draft picks on the edge. We'll see how their depth can hold up here. But once again, this Colts defense, they're playing a little bit of bend, don't break here. Taylor, another big chunk gain on the ground. 5 rushes for 55 yards here. 3rd and 12. Tough situation for Indy. Corner routes covered well by the Titans, so Richardson takes off, using that athleticism and getting well into Tennessee territory down to the 22. Next play, Jonathan Taylor gets smoked for a big loss. Unblocked defender there on the run. 3rd and 7 now. Richardson will find Adonai Mitchell inside the 10. 1st and goal from the 9. Bring it to 3rd and goal. First half winding down. Just 22 seconds remain. Richardson making some checks to the line. Trying to get Pittman on a slant, but that was covered up. So the Colts will settle for 3 and take a 17-9 lead into the break. Both teams have been on 3 scoring drives, but the Titans just have been held out of the end zone by this Colts defense. I certainly haven't been trying to call a bend don't break game, but that's been what has been the case. Tennessee to start this second half, and they'll go into the flat for Treylon Burks, and now Kwity Paye is injured. That's the third edge rusher injured for the Colts. Their depth is getting absolutely tested. In fact, Neville Gallimore, the interior defensive lineman, is currently lining up at the edge, but luckily Kwity Paye is able to quickly re-enter. 3rd and 9. Cam Ward stepping up in the pocket, right into the waiting arms of DeForest Buckner. So the Colts get the 3 and out to start the second half. That's been the first time that they've really kind of stopped the Titans' drive from the get-go. In between the 20s has been a tough area for the Indy defense. And going for the aggressive throw to Tyler Warren. Going to be incomplete, but a pass interference called on Amani Hooker. Hit the tight end early. So the Colts are moving. Jonathan Taylor, another good chunk run. Has them now inside the 30. RPO, Tyler Warren wide open on the flat. 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line. Indy trying to extend their lead here. 5 minutes into this third quarter. Into the flat goes Jonathan Taylor, who fights his way in for the score. The Colts with their 3rd touchdown of the game. 24-9 is now their lead. Now they're hopping out with the team celebration, going WWE. You'll love to see the camaraderie. Titans need a response here. They have it on 3rd and 8. Ward has just been excellent over the middle all game long. The give to Pollard on 2nd and 1. We'll get a 1st down and more for the Titans. They're moving once more in Colts territory. Pollard is stuffed up for a loss. Can't bite him on the tackle there. Ward. Clean pocket, just no pass rush to speak of for the most part in this game for the Colts. It's been the case early on for most of these games. 2nd and 5, the pitch out to Tony Pollard, and once again hitting him in the backfield is Cam Bynum. Having a good game in run defense at least. 3rd and 8, and he had a man potentially for the 1st down. But Tennessee, for the 4th time, gets into the red zone and is unable to convert for a touchdown. Jonathan Taylor picks up another run of 10-plus yards in this game. Indy goes play action. Things are covered up for the moment. Right before he's hit, Richardson throws a strike to Michael Pittman. A great throw with the defender right in his face. 3rd and 11. Richardson doesn't like what he sees. Tries to get the 1st down with his legs again. He is short. But Indy offense staying on for 4th down and picking it up with a slant to Pittman. 3rd quarter winding down. Jonathan Taylor, another good run. Just short of the 1st, but he is shaken up for the 2nd time in this ball game. 3rd down. Richardson rolling out, finding a man, and it is not held on to by Pittman. Those are the plays you expect your possession receiver to make pretty much 10 times out of 10, but he couldn't hold on. But on 4th down, the second 4th down conversion of the drive for the Colts has them up 31-12. And as you can see, count them, Anthony Richardson, 4 passing touchdowns, no interceptions in this game. He has been really, really good for Indy, and is a big reason they have the lead with their running back and edge rotation being tested in this game. A massive blunder in man coverage there has Treylon Burks wide open over the middle, and now the seam shot in cover 3. Some big defensive lapses have gotten Tennessee instantly in the red zone. Cam Ward has a ton of space. He's breaking tackles. And finally, the Titans have reached the end zone in this game. It looked like Indy might have been running away with this, but that was just a terrible possession defensively by the Colts. Chunk play after chunk play. Missed tackles there. Now the Colts trying to avoid a 3-and-out here on this next drive. It is caught short of the sticks by Downs. He's able to avoid the tackle. Great play made by number 1 to avoid the 3-and-out. Now it's 3rd and 5. Richardson trying to go deep with it, and that's going to be another flag for pass interference on Hooker. I don't think this one was an accurate call, but we'll take the help. 3rd and 1. That one is blown up by Jeffrey Simmons, who gets hit late, but very talented interior rusher. But the Colts did what they wanted to in this drive. They were able to take a decent amount of time off the clock and put some points on the board. Got to do better defensively, though. 3rd and 7. Fullback in the game, and they're going to run the ball, and they're going to move the chains. Bit of a surprise play call there, but it works out in favor of the Titans. And, I mean, without any pressure on him practically throughout this entire game, Cam Ward has just been able to pick this defense apart. Way too much time to throw. Eventually the pressure gets there, but we've got 4th and 8 now. Can the pressure arrive once more? He is getting some defenders in his face, but he throws it on the money to move the chains. But this drive has actually taken a decent amount of time off the clock for the Titans. We're now approaching the 2-minute warning here. 2nd and 11. Ward into the flat for Chigakonkwo. Nick Cross, big hits, knocks the ball loose. Cam Bynum recovers. And that should pretty much wrap this game up. The Titans took a lot of time off the clock there and end up with no points whatsoever, courtesy of the defense finally making a play. Just after the 2-minute warning, the Colts are trying to get one last first down to seal the game. They go with the RPO. Cox couldn't make the one guy miss, and so Tennessee will get the ball back once more, but down 15 points. And one timeout remaining, less than 2 minutes. It's going to take something miraculous. 3rd and 18 following the Samuel Womack sack. Ward just chucks it deep. And it is caught. You have got to be kidding me. Tyler Lockett, well known for his ability to moss much taller defenders, I guess, somehow came up with that. I don't know how Charvarius Ward doesn't make a play there. But regardless, the Colts will still come up victorious. The Madden cheese can only do so much in favor of the Titans there. But 34-26. 2 consecutive victories now for the Indianapolis Colts. Anthony Richardson looked really good in this game. And I will admit to being a little bit worried about what I've seen from the defense through 2 games of playing. Seems like passing resistance is practically non-existent. And I think that does come back to a bit of a lack of team speed on the defensive side of the ball, at least in part. Richardson was pretty conservative for the most part with a lot of his throws, a lot of underneath throws, but very efficient. 4 touchdowns, no picks, although he did not surpass 200 yards. Tyler Warren, 5 for 44 and a touchdown. Josh Downs, 4 for 49 and a touchdown. We also got a couple of running back receiving touchdowns in this game. 2 sacks, although just the pressure in general was not nearly good enough. And just the resistance against the pass in general has me quite concerned through the first 3 games of the season. That is a massive blow to the squad. Jonathan Taylor out 7 weeks now. And Latu's injury is now longer than it was before? What is going on with that? I don't understand. It was like 5 weeks, and now it's 8. We're definitely going to put on the trainer ability now to bring people back quicker, because these are now 2 really big injuries for the team. Despite having fewer than 200 passing yards, Anthony Richardson, with the 42 rushing yards and 4 passing touchdowns, is the AFC Offensive Player of the Week. We got a Kenny Moore Player of the Week in Week 2 as well. So well represented so far at the start of the season in Player of the Weeks. We also have a breakout scenario, the first of the rebuild here. It said linebacker, so I'm hoping this could be something like a Carly's. And there it is, Jalen Carly's here. He's going to have a chance to increase 2-star development against the Los Angeles Rams. Unfortunately, our 2-game winning streak would come to an end with a close defeat at the hands of the Rams, 23-21 here in terms of the passing game. Richardson, back-to-back games with no interceptions, which is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see him improve that touchdown-interception ratio mentioned at the beginning of the episode. He did that, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions in today's episode. He only threw 16 times in this game, so 186 yards on 16 attempts actually isn't that bad. Khalil Herbert, 15 for 50 and a touchdown. We had DJ Giddens get involved for his first time and has his first career touchdown. Anthony Richardson, 29 more yards on the ground. Josh Downs was by far our leading receiver in this game, going for 114. The next one was Tyler Warren, who had 2 for 41. He was the only guy with more than 2 receptions in the game. In terms of defensive stats here, we got sacks from Grover Stewart and DeForest Buckner, the big guys on the inside. No picks in this game. Deflections, we got a couple for Ward, 1 for Bynum, 1 for Moore. No forced turnovers at all, but just coming up short. We're 2-2 now here to start the season, and I didn't see anything that would give Jalen Carly's here star development, unfortunately. So as we go to this press conference, Coach, the defense had success in some areas today. How much does Jalen Carly's factors into that success? He does his job and he plays his part, which is crucial to having success. And we didn't get anything after that. So I think that just means he did not get his star development. We've got Week 5 coming up in the next episode. But before we finish off this one, let's go ahead and get some upgrades. Josh Downs, coming off a really solid game, has a upgrade point to spend, and of course gonna keep on going through this playmaker tree because it is so dang good. I mean, 3 catching, 4 short route, 2 release. Good night. Absolute money upgrade there. Abukum here has been heavily played at the start of the season due to our edge injuries. Luckily, the only serious one is Latu, which I would know how lucky that is because he is the pass rusher we want to develop the most. Anthony Richardson, a really good episode today. Didn't have a ton of passing yards, but just took really good care of the football and gets +2 awareness, which I really like. His awareness is really low. Not that that actually matters as much in the games that I play, but of course we only play roughly half the games, so awareness should help him play better in the games that we're simulating, of course. No star development for Jalen Carley's here, but he does have an upgrade point. We'll go with the scheme fit here in pass coverage. It's +2 to each, as well as an awareness pop, which we like to see. I mean, athleticism-wise, hit power-wise, Carley's definitely has some potential about him. To the point where I don't think linebacker's a desperate need. I mean, we do need more speed alongside him, though. Jelani Woods, absolute monster of a tight end. I think there's a lot of hope that he could become a beast. Just hasn't quite been able to live up to it. And so the Colts selected, of course, Tyler Warren, who's been awesome so far. Really enjoyed having him on the squad. And then Dalton Tucker will finish us off here for the upgrades and thus for the episode. We are right around we are right at 500, but taking a look at where we've excelled, we've been putting up top 5 points per game and top 2 rushing yards. We've been in a very good rushing offense. That was part of my goal. You know, I wanted to be a run-first offense, and that's certainly worked out for us. However, we are last in the league in terms of allowing passing yards per game. We've just not been good in that area. We haven't even been facing that great of quarterbacks, and so have to do better in this area. And I think that's where the speed in the back seven has really shown up. We've been good against the run, better than against the pass. At least we're 26th, but been good at stopping running backs. We've just actually allowed the quarterbacks to run a decent bit, which kind of goes into, I think, our weaker passing game defense. So we'll see if that changes at all in the upcoming episodes, but that's all I got for this one. Hope you enjoyed it, and if you're excited for more Colts franchise, drop a like on the video. Next one will be coming out soon, and I'll see you then. Go Colts.